3-story semi-D with 7 spacious ensuite bedrooms.
Extensive A&AN renovation in move-in condition.
Within minutes to everything. Park, MRT, food, shops, everything.
Stay tuned to find out more about this Springleaf solitaire in this episode of Huttons Landed Division's
Live Open House.
I'm Willie from Huttons Landed Division. If you've been following our signature live open house series, you will know that every episode we try to feature something that's very unique, right? Either in terms of the house or the location. Now today we are at Springleaf Estate, all right, featuring a 3-story, 7+1 bedroom semi-D. But one thing you realize, the unique thing and why we chose here is, I think, the surroundings around me. All right, have you seen a wider road? So wide and so quiet that we can actually do the filming in the middle. This is the first time in our 30+ episodes that we have an environment as pleasing and as serene as this one. All right, filming aside, you can imagine if you're going to stay here for the residents, how nice and pleasant it will be, right? Whether you're driving home or driving out, or even just basically taking your strolls around. Right, but more to that later. Why Springleaf? If you realize that we've always featured houses or actually houses that are within our targeted or focused landed areas, which actually covers about 11 districts. All right, that in terms of the transaction-wise, they cover more than 80% of Singapore's total landed transaction. Only very rarely do we actually focus and get listings outside of these 11 districts and even choose to actually feature in our live open house series. The last being was at Loyang Estate, and this episode at 97 Loyang Rise. And if you remembered, that house, nice, beautiful, and of course we successfully sold it after the airing of the episode. So again, why are we at Springleaf? Okay, Springleaf may not be inside our GTA, and for some reasons, because transaction volume here generally is quite low. Now, low transactions sometimes are often perceived as the estate or the area not having enough demand, right, from buyers. To be honest, we have to confess, even sometimes my team and I also have this wrong perception. Why I say wrong, but I think for an estate like Springleaf, later you will start to realize, I think we probably have made a very genuine mistake and oversight, because I think maybe one reason why people or the transaction volume is low here, it's not because there's no buyers, is that I think a lot of owners here don't want to sell, right? That means the supply of units for sale is very, very low. And one main reason, as you can see already, is really the environment here. And if you know about landed living, right, there's one thing that's very important is really the quality of life, which I think is getting more and more important now as the population ages, etc. And just after understanding, and I hope you can get to be the owners, are really some of the most cheerful and most pleasant and positive people I've gathered. I'm quite sure a lot of the residents here are, because of the environment, right, that they are in. If I were to stay here, facing this, breathing the same air, getting the same wind. Now this is a bright afternoon and you still get a lot of wind because we're, by the way, slightly on the hilltop side. All right, so in terms of elevation, it's a lot better as well. So with that, this could be basically the misconception we have of Springleaf that we hope after this episode, more and more people will start to understand and correct. But today and recently, we've finally discovered a house that we think is interesting enough. All right, really unique, has a lot of unique selling propositions for future buyers. And we want to take this opportunity to also share with them as well how beautiful, how unique or attractive this house and of course the environment is. to the extent we actually call this house Springleaf Solitaire. All right, why Springleaf Solitaire? You know, solitaire by its definition is like a gem, you know, a very precious gemstone they find cut in a ring, for example. So this one, we don't want to sugarcoat or oversell certain things, but slowly as this episode uncovers, we hope you can see, I think, some of these unique features. Okay, now the first thing about Springleaf, like just now you have really seen, right, is really this, we're surrounded by nature. Let me just pan a bit more to the side. So you can see this estate very, very open, all right, and we are actually surrounded by nature on all three sides. Okay, so you have here very primary nature forest, right? Towards the back of the estate is Springleaf Nature Park, all right? Across the other side, along Thomson Road, you have the Lower Pierce Reservoir Nature Park and also the Thomson Nature Park as well. So nature parks, I'm not sure if you're a fan. I've discovered them during COVID. I must admit, way before that, I never knew they existed. Until during COVID, I start to go around and you realize actually for those nature lovers, and especially for those who travel overseas to look at nice greenery, basically trees, the flora and the fauna, Singapore really has a lot of nature parks that have not been explored. And these three are some of the most beautiful ones I think you should really explore. Okay, so one thing about Springleaf is really surrounded by nature, unlike many landed estates. Now, the second reason now, as you can see on this side, with the exception of few cars, like I mentioned, this is probably the only time that we can actually do a filming when the roads are really, really wide. You don't see landed estates with two, not just two, it's actually two on one side and actually four big lanes on every side of the road, right? Every side of the road. And one thing about this is that this also covers this entire area, okay, is a semi-landed zone. Now, this is very, very unique, okay, in the context of landed housing in Singapore. So if you look at just, for example, the northeast areas, District 19, 20, 28 and 26 where Springleaf is located, you realize actually there are no three-story, there are very, very few semi-detached zones. Most of the landed estates that you found, okay, like you can see from the screen here, whether in District 19, District 20 or District 28 or even 26, most are actually mixed landed zones. It means that you can have a mixture of housing from terrace to semi-Ds and of course to detached, right? No offense to the terrace owners, but having these terraces means that the place or the landed estates can be a lot more cluttered. Now, Springleaf is a semi-detached zone. Not only is it a semi-detached zone, it is a three-story semi-detached zone, which in the entire northeast region, there's probably only two. No, in fact, there are only two such landed zoning areas, right, within the northeast region. So one is at Lorong Tanggam, to which actually our last episode just featured a house just behind that estate. All right, that is in Jalan Kayu, District 28. The other one is at Jalan Bincang at Clover or Bishan area. So this is the third, and this is by far the largest, right, in terms of basically the land mass. And you can really feel it. I hope that you're standing here with me now to feel the expansiveness of the space. Okay, and you can see just from here, these are all quite large houses, larger than usual. And plus with the 3-story landed zone height means that the houses here can also be built up to 3.5 and 4 stories. Just now as you pan, you see some majestic houses or very good examples already, right, which are even better than means in terms of your value for money, in terms of how you maximize the usable space is at least 1 story more than the 2-story landed zone. All right, now coming back to here, this place, the nature, besides the nature park that we saw, even within the estate, there is a very nice, they call this a playground, but you can see it's beyond just a playground. You can feel the wind here, there's a lot of tall trees. This is also a park if you have pets, you want to do exercise, etc. This is a perfect place. And spanning, this actually wraps around, it's actually in the middle of the entire estate. It's one of the reasons also why I find this estate very, very pleasing and very rare. All right, you don't find this in even some of the other more established or more so-called higher value or sought-after prime landed estates in Singapore. All right, you may think that now we're in the middle of nowhere, which now comes to my third point, right? as much as we're very quiet, peaceful, as you can see here, we are also very near to amenities. By amenities, I mean Springleaf MRT station is actually just 10 minutes down, all right, a walk. So our house later, we're going to show you is on this side. You just have to walk across this park, okay, cut across the park, a row of landed houses, and you will see Springleaf MRT station. You'll see a row of eateries. I think those who have frequented the Prata place on this side, and of course there are some other eateries. There's also supermarkets as well, which means residents here, you can take a leisurely stroll to do your daily so-called shopping, all right, and of course your eating as well. So that's actually quite convenient. And if you are a driver, that's one thing I like. I always focus about basically connectivity, not just by this public transport, which as you can see is quite convenient. By the way, there are also buses along Thomson Road as well, right? Is that if you're a driver, one thing I like is here, we're actually very near to SLE. In fact, if you look at the map here, after basically the Ang Mo Kio exits and you have Lentor and Upper Thomson, this is the first exit after that. And what you have to do is just make a turn, one turn, less than a minute, you actually reach Springleaf Estate already. So SLE, leads to CTE. We all know it creates a lot of jam. It's not one of the most favorite, but it's still one of the most convenient way to connect, I think, commuters and residents all the way to city. Now the good news is Springleaf Estate, okay, is now part of, will be one of those estates that will benefit from this north-south corridor, mega project that is actually aimed to actually improve connectivity for residents in the northern part of Singapore all the way to city centre. Now next, which is the final and most important point, why we call this a solitaire within Springleaf Estate by itself. I hope you really see how much of a rarity of a landed estate is this. Now the last main reason is the house. You have seen already a lot of houses here. Though they are in a 3-story landed zone, a lot of the houses, especially the one that we're going to feature in, the neighbours are all still 2 stories because they were built in an era where actually 2-story was sufficient. So this house stands out because it's probably the one and only one bespoke design because the owner have actually done an extensive A&A, all right, slightly more than 10 years ago, by creating a 3rd additional floor, changing, all right, modifying and modernizing the entire facade and increasing the usable space by adding bathrooms, by adding bedrooms, and increasing the usable space to more than 5,800 square feet. How spacious is this house, and whether it fits your needs? Now I'm going to pass on, I think, to my teammates Sean, Vico and Sen to show you more about this house.
Alright, thank you Willie. We're right outside of this 3,550 square foot semi-D, which encompasses 7+1 bedrooms and a built-up of more than 5,008 square feet, amongst which there's actually a granny's room, a helper's room and 2 baths on level 1.
And on level 2, we have 3 ensuite bedrooms and a second family hall. The curved facade hides one of the most special places in this house.
On the 3rd floor, we have 3 ensuite bedrooms and a 3rd family hall, which is one of my favorite part of the house because it overlooks this beautiful, quiet street in front of us.
Yeah, I think both Sam and Vico are really excited to showcase to you more of level 2 and level 3. Alright, let them go and get ready for the 2 levels, and while I showcase to you more about level 1.
Thank you, Sean.
See you! But first, let's take a quick look at the facade. Alright, I'm actually standing right outside the house, and this is probably one of my favourite lanes even within Springleaf Estate. Alright, you can take a look at how wide the roads are. A lot of decision making back then for this whole estate built by the same developer. Actually, one of the main concerns was the uniformity of all the houses. So you can take a look at some of the neighbours. These are already the classic Springleaf, being 2 stories. Alright, and our unit behind us, alright, this is actually number 8, an auspicious 8. And not only that, the owners actually, after going through an extensive A&A, their brief was actually to create something to break away from the uniformity whilst maintaining, in fact, still the essence of the house itself. Okay, so in fact, for roads like this, even we have cars on both sides. All right, definitely you can, for larger families and multiple cars, parking outside wouldn't be an issue, even for passing traffic. We are also right towards the end of Springleaf Estate. So in terms of traffic flow, this is probably one of the most quiet estates we've seen. All right, more about the plot itself. So you can see from width to width, we have a very impressive 11 meters. For this stretch of the estate itself, most of the lands are actually larger in size, all above 3,500 square feet. And these are only semi-Ds. So in essence, you can see a lot of space provisions. The planning also for the kind of wind flow and also for the kind of lifestyle in this estate is more tranquil itself. All right, more about the car porch. So first thing when you step in is how the owners have really transformed the space itself, right? Being a very, very wide 11 meters with ample parking lots in front, a lot of transformation has taken place inside itself. So first thing would be a very tall, 3.5 meter high. This will be the car porch shelter itself. This is actually to elevate, to give you the more better feeling of the space itself, right? And definitely parking one car fully sheltered. And what you see on my right, this is really something that is curated just for the owners themselves, right? Having a split level kind of breaks away again from the norm. And all the materials they have chosen is actually more for practicality, all right? So it opens up to a very, very posh front garden space. So one thing you'll notice immediately again, all right, throughout the whole house, there's many, many potted plants. In fact, fun fact, there's actually more than 200 potted plants. Right, this will definitely elevate the ease of maintenance, whilst also maintaining the kind of greenery to surround and integrate with the house itself. Okay, facing wise, the front is actually facing towards the north. So this is a true south facing house. And the east actually will be at the open side itself. All right, but these are already kind of sheltered. Even during this time of the day, a lot of this light is actually already diffused or being blocked off. Okay. And my favorite part is definitely this curved facade, right? It extends not only through level 1, but through 2 and 3. So the awnings have also been actually extended by the owners to give you the maximum kind of coverage in terms of against the elements itself. Right, moving to the sides, what I personally really like about older houses is the space provisions, right? So we have almost a 2.5 meters wide sidewalk. So this kind of really elevates the kind of living experience in a house like this, and not to mention a lot of provisions for natural lighting to enter into the house. So not only from this really unique curved glass, but they have many, many openings through the side of the house itself. All right, so stepping downwards, this would definitely open up to probably one of my favorite areas in the house, being a multi-generational family staying here. So it's very important to have a lot of this type of communal spaces. So here actually we can take a peek inside through the dining area, which you can easily extend out to an alfresco area where I'm standing itself, right? And moving to the back, first thing you'll notice is the elevation of the whole estate. So we are actually on a kind of a flat land. Behind is actually much lower than us, right? It gives you the kind of sense of privacy and also kind of engages in the wind flow, because most buyers actually will be concerned about privacy being too close to your neighbors. So for older estates like this, the sides we have literally 6 meters apart, likewise for the rear, okay? And one hidden bonus is actually Granny's room, very conveniently located towards the rear of the house, but this Granny's room has their own access out to the front itself. Okay, and not to mention the awnings here, they've extended outwards, right? So it really kind of contains the space. So the line between indoor and outdoor is gradually being blurred. And not to mention the provisions for the future proving of the house. So not only you have steps, you actually have a ramp for wheelchair access. Of course, the last point would be if you have many, many cars, right? This whole entire platform, you can actually lower and level it, revert it back to the norm. So easily you can park up to 3 cars inside the unit itself.
That's right. Thank you, Sean, for the very comprehensive introduction. I hope you have really seen. I think when I walk in, I just came back from the park. Really very fortunate that this area is very windy, right? So even the walk here is actually quite pleasant. And I think with this shelter, I'm still quite thankful. So you've seen the very nice, very unique, very well done up, thoughtfully designed car porch and the sidewalk. So are you keen to take a look at the house interior? Let's take a look. Okay, now we are at the living room. Are you curious to see how the 5,800 square feet built of space? What kind of a living room is there? Okay, first thing you see, there's this curved facade. From what Sean said earlier just now from outside, right? This is really the unique part of the architecture, and it really shows even from inside. I think it's very not very common for you to find a curved glass piece like this, even in landed properties, right? So I think this gives a lot of good visibility into the best parts, which Sean said just now about the car porch. You have a lot of light coming in, but yet still sheltered. You can see what's happening outside, but yet you also have the privacy. If you notice, the main entrance door is positioned here deliberately. The main entrance used to be the one facing the gate, but they actually place it here so that the occupants here, the family, will not be disturbed, all right, or distracted by, I think, the moving traffic outside.
My favorite part really about this kind of spacing, what they have done with something old to really rejuvenate and restyle the space itself. So even from the living room, especially with multi-generational families with younger kids, just look at the visibility. Anywhere, when you're standing or sitting within this room, you can overlook, in a way, it's like your internal panoramic view.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And not to mention the space itself, as Willie mentioned, this is about 500 square feet itself.
Just the living room, huh? Just this
living
part,
room only.
without including here, it's about 500 square feet. It's like one apartment, right?
Yeah.
One small apartment already.
So given the width of the plot itself, all right, definitely translates a lot into the interior space.
That's
so this is probably one of the wider semi-D interiors that we find.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to actually space out things.
Right.
And the way they've done with, the open...
Exactly. What did the owner do with the space? Like we mentioned, they have actually avid travelers, so they collect things over the years. So you can see these are all their collectibles, right? Very prized possessions. And the interesting thing is the different pieces, there's no fixtures at all. But you don't feel that the space is empty. Right. But having no fixtures means that I think for the new owner, when you moved in, you don't have a lot of clunky, very extensive built-in cabinets or whatever that you have to tear down. You can already feel the space for what it is. All this will be taken away, right?
My favorite part also is how they preserve the original classicness of the house, given the flooring, right?
Yeah.
This is
marble flooring,
hard to find and really well preserved, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention the new installations of the cassette icons, the ceiling height, they're still able to preserve. One thing good about older houses, I think Willie will agree, how much ceiling height and provisions they have.
Exactly. This is 3 meters now, but not forgetting this is a cassette, right? Cassette aircon. So there's at least another 30 to 40 cm above this, allowing this actually now you have all these down lights and even not one but 2 fans here. So you want to actually raise the ceiling further, you can make use some of the wall space, put a cassette aircon if you want to. One thing that Sean said that I totally agree with, and if you can turn around and look at the walls, these are all the green color. They actually painted this green to have this very botanic, very organic feel that is synonymous with basically what owner is trying to present from outside. So he's trying to bring the green in here literally, and really standing here now, you can see that it's really like your own little botanic gardens, basically, or your own little nursery. There are more than 200 pots of plants.
200 pots of plants.
So many of which we can see from here.
Yeah, so the barriers, actually they remove it, being the glass, it's very inviting, to integrate the indoor, outdoor space. I think it's very important that we don't really see a lot of this in the newer houses.
Exactly.
Right?
So here now we go to the dining, separated with a few steps here. This is quite interesting because now from when you first enter, you have a bird's eye view. Unlike some houses, they are raised, right? Your visibility gets reduced. Here, when you come in, the visibility actually increases. So you get to see the width and, of course, the height. This is actually more than 3.2 meters with the same cassette aircon as well. You can put, now this is an 8-seater, easily 10, 12, not an issue, right? I understand from the owners during Chinese New Year, I think they could actually double this space up, plus, of course, the space outside.
Yeah. So indeed, earlier I was just outside. This can be kind of like an extension to your existing dining, especially nowadays with larger families. You want a little bit of alfresco, or those who are more nature-loving, you can really deck up this space, really transform it to be an extension of the dining. So really what's interesting is the flow of the layout itself. So not only from the living area, it segregates naturally to the living and then the dining.
Exactly, yeah. So next, you remember we have 7+1 rooms, of which conveniently and very strategically, one of the room is on the first floor. So you can see here, this is the entrance hallway. To this will be the granny's room, and owner have now converted this into a children's room. Right? You can see they have grandchildren coming back, so you have your little the children's toys, cabinet storage. But what is you can't ignore is that this was actually meant to be a bedroom with actually almost a 1.5 meters of wardrobe already done. I like the fact that this is really done inside concealed, okay, so it doesn't jug out. So you still have space to put a queen size bed, king size bed, and then still have space to roam around, okay. So this is, very importantly, it's ensuite. Oh, before we go there, also just now Sean mentioned, right, this also opens out. This is deliberate. So this creates an opening for you to walk out into the sidewalk as well. From there, you can go to the front of the car porch, or you can go to the back, to the rear kitchen, or your laundry if you want to. Right? There is a bathroom here, very useful. It's part of the A&A. So like you can see, this really start to give you an idea of basically the color palette and the design scheme that the owner is looking for. Very natural, very neutral, very timeless. Okay, storage, cabinets, these are all tiled up. And then behind me, there's also a shower as well. So this is not just a powder room, but it's a shower. So whether you have elderly folks staying here, it could be a guest room, it could be an entertainment room, use it for mahjong, use it for basically as a study. I think it's convenient for you to have one dedicated bathroom, all right, for the occupants or for the use of this house.
Right, and of course, a house being this big with so many rooms and potentially many occupants, storage is very important. Right, so the existing owners have actually provisioned many of these spaces for dedicated storage. So the first of which will be under the stairs. So this usually will be kind of like a dead space originally, but it's very convenient. The way they have laid out also to preserve the staircase, the turnstile staircase also is really to create another very nice storage space over here. Okay, so like what Willie was mentioning, the spaciousness of the house, and because again of the width of the house, you can actually have rooms positioned side by side. So that being the granite room, the other side would be actually a very majestic kitchen area. So this is probably the heart of the house for most of the homeowners, and this does not fail to impress, all right? So first thing first, you can see the color palette, again, like Willie mentioned, they go for very clean lines, and a lot of times maintenance is probably something the owners actually prioritize. So a lot of clean lines, ample surfaces for them to do all their cooking, etc.
Now the kitchen is small. The kitchen is actually 300 square feet front and back. I think this is one of the largest kitchens we've ever seen. Right? We thought this is actually just a dry. Right? There's no cooking facilities here, but because the back actually the wet kitchen is just here. Although they still have their oven and storage. All these are actually all done up. All right, storage with drawer systems, all this. And frankly speaking, for a 12-year-old renovation and overhaul, this is really well maintained. White color cannot hide age, right? It cannot hide basically neglect, cannot hide basically lack of maintenance. So you can see all these are white, cream white color, even the tabletop as well. So all these are still kept in prestigious, very clean, pristine condition, so to speak. Yeah.
Right.
So this little opening is quite interesting, at least.
Yeah. So this could be very interesting. You know, you can double up as a small island top if you need to. But this actually offers access towards the rear or more towards the service area.
Yeah.
But for the homeowners, what they've really done to transform this space is not only to incorporate like an indoor, but although it's like a more for heavy cooking, they even have a makeshift island over here. So those of you all who are prioritizing a larger kitchen area, this can actually be extended through and through to fully utilize the entirety of the space. Okay, and of course, towards the rear of the house. So we still have another wet kitchen, dedicated wet kitchen to my right, and to my left, the laundry area. So everything is very space maximizing. Yeah. Right. In addition to that, this part of the house actually houses the helper's room.
Yeah, you saw 3 doors, right?
Yes.
This is not the end. Huh? So we still have a dedicated helper's room. All right, pretty big size. You can take a glimpse. Very high ceiling. There's a double deck there. So for families who have like 2 helpers, all right, a lot of landed families now need 2 helpers. It's very comfortable. There's windows there as well. All right, so this is actually larger than a lot of helpers' room. Now the next one is this. This is a powder room. Okay, you can take a closer look and Sean show you. Very nicely done up, very tasteful. I think the owner takes a lot of pride in hosting their friends and the family. So when they come, of course, this is a very convenient excuse for them to walk past this, the pride, like I say, the heart of the house.
Yes.
To walk through the owners, the female owner, she loves to cook and entertain. So they can walk through the kitchen and then use the powder room here. Then the third room over there is again storage.
More
Sean's
storage.
favorite.
Right. So this one is very conveniently located. And repurposed to be parked inside the kitchen. So you can double as your pantry. Again, storage is very important, especially with larger families.
Exactly. This one is, by the way, it's just a drywall. So you can see this protrusion here. If you want a bigger, even larger, not that this is small, right? You want a larger, wider dry kitchen, you can just hack this away hack away the storeroom, and then what you have is basically homogeneous space, almost double the space. When you first come in, you can really have basically a bird's eye view, right, of the space that it provides. Now, a lot of families like to always have this landed families. You know, they have this conflict of whether to have open kitchen concept or to have a concealed concept. This, I think, is the best of both worlds. You have privacy away, I think, from the dining and the living, but once you come in, you also have the open kitchen feel. So you, in terms of maintenance, in terms of, I think, practicality, right, this is not a compromise, right, if not optimized at all. Okay,
Not to mention also the ventilation over here,
yes,
opening up all the way to the back.
Yes.
So the space really, you see, is exemplified not only from the living through to the rooms, and definitely the kitchen itself. One of the largest
Yes.
we've seen probably in the whole area as well.
Yes, correct. Right. So one of the buyers who come here that actually ask, "What can you break this wall down?" That can be done. You can do a wall. You can break the whole thing into basically like a sliding door if you want to. Right. Now, talking about questions, this is a live open house, so we welcome. I think in the past few sessions, a lot of our viewers very cute. They will actually PM me, PM the presenters. Actually, you can just put this into our chat groups, into our Facebook and YouTube if you want to. Now, if you are watching, you can type in there because our team is behind the scenes now helping us to answer the questions. So we have just type it in and then we will answer. Although we cannot flip out our phone now and see the questions.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we are finished the first floor. This is the tour of the first floor. I hope you are really as pleasantly surprised, if not impressed, as we are when we first saw this house, right? In terms of the layout, the functionality, the space that it offers. Next, we're going to go up and explore the remaining second and third floor, and you can see this gives you a clue already. The continuation of space continues from even the stairwell leading up. This is spacious, but I'll leave this. We'll leave this to Sam, okay,
yes.
right, to share with you more about second floor. Sam, please.
Hi, I'm Sen. Let's go on up to the second floor.
Second floor is where all the bedrooms start, right? Because there are 6
Yeah.
bedrooms, 3 here, 3 upstairs.
But before we
Yeah.
even get there,
Yeah.
what you might notice is we have a really large and modern air well
Yeah.
that brings in all the light and lets in a lot of air.
Yes,
So this
talking
whole
about
place
lights.
is very well natural ventilated. And we are now in the living area on the second floor. If you're busy entertaining friends on the first floor, your kids could just come up and entertain their friends here.
Exactly. I think the way the owner has designed this house is to create not one, right, but actually 2 separate living area, a living hall, okay, because in case the family gets bigger and then they're more, basically you want your privacy from basically the main entertainment area downstairs. I think a space like this would be really, really useful, right, to entertain not just guests but even for yourself. You can see from now here, this is really like a reminiscent of almost like a replica of a living room. This is very, very spacious. We have seen probably terrace house with living halls that are smaller than this. Yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah, yes.
And speaking of which, we have 3 rooms on this floor, right?
Yes, correct,
So the
yeah.
master on the right and 2 rooms
It's
on the
good
left.
that they are separated, right? So 2 rooms here, 1 room there, so the master will have his own privacy, which I'm sure later Sam will share with you. Her favorite room, okay, on this side. But before that, we go to the 2 rooms. But one thing I need to take note of, we can take note is actually you can see the light. This house really emphasizes a lot on natural light.
Natural ventilation.
Yeah, natural ventilation, light from the air well. You can see the panel windows here is really huge. One thing because that I like is, which I think is overemphasized, is a lot of new houses now they do floor to ceiling, like literally wall to ceiling. But I think something like this makes a lot more sense.
It gives you a bit more privacy.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
and it's much better in terms of maintenance,
Yes,
a
yeah,
lot less
yeah,
work.
exactly,
Also
exactly.
less hot. I mean, let's
Exactly,
be honest
yeah,
about that.
exactly. So this one actually gives you I think you compromise in terms, you don't compromise actually in terms of functionality, but especially practicality of maintaining, right? So that's good. And also these owners, like we mentioned, very practical family. They have ceiling fans, skylights, very homogeneous designs you've seen throughout, right? So you don't have a lot of wiring coming down, the downlights are there. So above this is actually a false ceiling as well, right? False ceiling, so which you can, I think, enhance further if you want to. So this space, if you do a 360 now, as you come to this side, there's even space, right? For the, I think also the glass panels, right? So it makes it even bigger. It's not your
Makes
usual.
it very modern
Yes.
and airy and bright.
Exactly, makes it look bigger than what it is. So this is just a family room. Can you imagine the bedrooms, right? So people can't imagine how a house, a semi-detached, of course the land size is big, more than 3,500 square feet. How can a semi-D have 7+1? They may think that the rooms may be smaller than usual. And even bathrooms, you know. So now we're going to give you a glimpse. We have seen one downstairs.
It really doesn't feel like a semi-D,
Yes,
really.
yeah,
Just
exactly.
doesn't. Okay.
So let's take a look at this room first.
Okay, so guess how many feet, or rather how long this room is.
Yeah, I'm going to go one side each.
yeah.
Can you see the length of this, right? This is like 8 meters, okay? 8 meters of space. If you separate, this is almost like 2 bedrooms. All right, the square footage is what?
The square footage, including the bathroom,
yes.
is bigger than a small studio apartment.
It's more than
400.
400 square feet. More than 400 square feet.
Yeah.
So this is, you can see the size. Well, now this is very interesting because the family, like we said, I think it's an empty nester, so they have a lot of spare room. So this room, the largest room, is now used by the owners actually as a hobby room. All right. Despite I wouldn't even call it cluttered. It's very, I think, neatly organized. You can feel that the space is a lot. You have a resting area. You have.
This is a sewing table.
Yeah, exactly. Arts and
I
craft,
think they have an antique
Piano.
baby piano
Yeah.
from the past.
Yeah.
And
So this can be a music room as well.
Yeah,
Right?
it could be a music room. It could be a yoga room.
Yes.
I mean, for little kids, you could run up and down. you could run race.
I would
mean,
do a gym room. You know, people always say a normal room is very small for a gym. I think
for
this
you, really,
is,
yes, I know it's
This
going
is
to
a
be a gym.
full-fledged gym room, gym junkie or workout, health, fitness. You can do your yoga, Pilates, and still have a lot of space, right? Also, let's not forget, this is what first and foremost a bedroom. So behind you can see there's actually the built-in wardrobes already done. All right, so you will see this throughout the whole house, floor to ceiling, sliding door. There's wardrobes with adjustable shelves and very neatly done, neutral colors. I think you want to convert this back to a bedroom, it's very easy.
And I just wanted to point out, there are actually not one, but two ceiling
Two ceiling
fans.
fans, yes.
That's how long the room is. My favorite part, though, is this little terrace out here. I love plants. I absolutely love plants. And this is where I would hide out, probably to read.
Yeah.
And this is where you hide out after doing your gym, right?
To be honest, even though I have no green fingers, I don't appreciate plants. But really, I think the owners have done this. I think you
Yes,
saw when
excellent.
Sean showed you downstairs. The owner really has
Yeah.
this green, I would say green fingers. It's
I mean,
really a talent for.
Speaking of
yeah.
that, let's just show you what else they've done
Yeah,
with the
because
bathroom.
this greenery is
because
not just here. It actually adorns, I think, this
a little
almost
touch.
botanic
There's
bathroom.
enough space for a bit of green in the corner. And this, look at this. Oh, wow, this is cool. You don't have glass here. You just have a roller shutter. But
Even me standing outside from the balcony looking in is really quite pleasant. Right? Although some people may be concerned about privacy, of course you can just cover this up with a glass panel with some filters, etc. But I think
it's really got a Balinese feel,
yes,
right?
Yes. I really like this, to be honest. Although the maintenance of the plants may scare me, but if you have green fingers like the owners, you really will enjoy this.
And
Yeah?
if you look at the marble work, I mean, this house might have been renovated, was it more about
Slightly more than 10 years ago.
slightly more
but
than 10 years
very
ago,
well kept.
but still very modern, very neutral colors, and also the dark colors match really well. I don't think this is the sort of tiling that would ever go out of style.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something that the owners had in mind then when they designed this place. Neutral, make it simple but yet functional. So that
very
then the new
functional.
owner can really still, you take the hard work that's done already that you don't have to spend a lot of time and effort to, and then you spend your time and effort and creativity in basically
Correct.
donning the place or decking out the place in the way that you want to.
The heavy lifting has been done,
Yes,
for sure.
exactly,
And now
exactly.
you just have to come in and personalize it.
Yes. So that's bedroom 2, right? Bedroom 2. So we have 2 more. Let's take a look at this. Now this is a more standard bedroom. You can see now that in terms of orientation, this will be very familiar, right? Especially even for landed owners, very squarish. You have the same high ceiling. I love, again, the big windows, right? Big window panels here. You have the wardrobes on this side. The bed now, this is a king-size bed. You could put it now against the windows, but you could also put where sand is and position there such that you have more so-called vertical walking space.
It's
Yeah?
a real rarity. You can keep a cot
Yeah.
and a king bed,
Yes.
a workstation, and
Yeah.
you still have a giant wardrobe and a couch,
Yes.
a two-seater sofa.
Exactly.
Pretty
Owners have
amazing.
actually accumulated all this, curated and purchased through their travels over decades. I'm not just talking about years. So unlike many houses where we say cluttered, there's a lot of clutter, but the owners have really have a good touch of maintaining it quite well. all right? And like all our live open houses and our so-called house presentation, we want to keep it as natural, as authentic as possible. So with this so-called authentic clutter, you could still see that the place
The
is...
space is generous.
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, look at the maintenance. The parquet looks new. There's
Yes.
no other word for it. We keep slipping
Yes.
on it, right?
Yeah. This is actually now just a weekend bedroom, by the way, for the owners. When the owners' children come or when they have guests, right, or their in-laws coming to stay. So you can be rest assured that even though the A&E was done more than 10 years ago, the condition really feels a lot newer. Yeah.
Definitely.
So now, bathroom, what do you have here?
Oh, let's go check it out.
Yes. Is it the same as we saw earlier?
Oh, this one's a little bit brighter. This is all in neutral tones. Very modern, very light and airy. You have a nice shower area with very generous window size. Again, unlike a lot of new places, you have natural ventilation and a good size sink. It's bigger than usual. A lot of mirrors.
You can put two sinks if you want to extend.
If you wanted to,
right?
you could have a
You
very
expand.
big, long sink for
exactly.
two
And
people
I love the
not
storage.
fight with your partner, right?
Exactly. Because I think the storage space here already give you a hint that you can double this up because there's like four doors.
Four
yeah,
panels.
4 panels. Lots of
Absolutely.
storage.
Yes.
So actually this one add up together. Actually the space very comfortable. It's bigger than a lot of a master bedroom, even not just in the new condos, or of course the HDB.
Even
but
in the terraces, it's
some may not
a
have
very,
a
very good
like
size.
this, right? So you've seen two pretty big bedrooms, all right? But how about the master? So I'm sure Sam, you said this is the highlight for you. Starting with this, right? Is
Yeah.
it even ascending to the bedroom was an experience? Maybe you want to share with us.
Okay, so this is probably my favorite part of the house. And as Willie alluded to just now, you literally have to ascend up to the master bedroom
Very
to get
unique. We
the
have never
view.
seen things like this. You know, it's quite. It's like, of course, we are different from the other levels, but has a certain sense of mystery. You know,
Yes,
what lies behind the door.
and as we hinted earlier on, there are 2 rooms on that side, but just 1 room on this side.
You can imagine
so
the
just
size.
imagine the size. Okay,
Come, let's take a look.
let's go in. Come.
So the camera is panning basically across. You can see the expansiveness of it. Can you see the shape of it without me showing the floor plan? Right? It's very, very squarish, right? Very, very squarish. And then you can see panels on this side, the windows and all this. The first thing that greets you is this view. It's fantastic. This is really, like we said, the selling point of the house. We are facing south. And to show you south, I really have to open this and you can start to feel the wind coming through. Can you see the plants moving on the side? All right, and later, from first floor, we can really start to get a glimpse of this air pocket. Right? You can see the air pocket here. We have to mention this because it's really quite nice because you can see the greenery in front. This being a row of semi-Ds is very quiet, peaceful, and the street as well. Right? It's very, very quiet.
And not only do you have that pocket of green,
Yes.
really, but I don't know if you can hear it through the camera.
Yes, true.
You
I think
can
we keep
hear the
quiet for a while.
cicadas and you can hear a lot of insects and birds chirping here. So this place is called Springleaf. We're near a park and it really feels like we are in a park.
Yes, this room I think really epitomizes this living in nature, right? You're surrounded by nature. Of course, this entire houses, but this having the biggest window facing that really let the owner, obviously the one paying for the house, actually enjoy the best view, right?
But they are very practical.
Yes.
I mean, like all people, nowadays we need a workstation and
Yes.
that's a good corner.
Yes, yeah, on this side. And also clever little design features like this little niche, wall niches to actually put in the storage. Of course, you can see that the owners are avid readers besides travelers. So, but you can choose to put other things here as well without having a need for additional shelves, right?
They maximize the space, really.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at this,
Yeah, right.
I mean, even under the planter box, you know, they completely put little drawers in, and
This is keep clutter.
we have a reading corner here. I mean, I like this because I like to read, and you know, I can just imagine just coming here, coming home.
You sure the owners didn't consult you when they designed this house many years ago?
No, but I did ask to borrow some books.
So, of course, Sam
Avid
knows the owner
readers.
was like, oh, I think this would be a perfect house for Sam, right? Having these little corners that she likes.
All the books.
Yes, exactly. So how about storage? We talk about storage, how about wardrobe, right? So I think behind me visually gives you a clue. This is more than almost 4 meters of storage space.
Oh, wait, put out your hands. Let's put out your hands.
You can
Okay,
see
this-
how wide this is. Right.
This is how
of
wide it
course,
is.
I can see this cleverly trying to conceal. These are all storage space. These are well-designed, functional storage with drawers, hangers, etc. You can put your luggage at the top. right? So with this, I think both husband and wife will have sufficient space. But this is not all, right? This is not all. If you think that's all, you want more, now this is, Sen has her favorite part. This is my favorite corner. Strange for a guy to say this, but I like that. If you have a partner, you know, she will have her own space of her own to do her hairdressing, her makeup, etc. But without having to do this basically inside the room itself, which is very common. You either get a dressing room, a dressing table, or you get a study table. This one, you can have this little corner. If you don't need this, actually this could actually add up to become another walk-in wardrobe space as well.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I hope the poor husband of the new owner, whatever, don't have to relegate to dressing space and the wife takes over there.
So since I don't really make up that much and I don't use that corner, let me talk about this space. Okay, this space is where you just chill at the end of the day. This is my space. Look at the sky up there. You could put a little onsen, a little tub, but really it is perfect as it is. I mean, space is one of the biggest commodities, not commodities, one of the biggest luxuries in Singapore.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have it in galore here.
So behind Sen, you can see this curved facade, right? This is really the unique facade, the unique so-called physical appearance. And this is the first part of the house that you get to see besides the entrance. So you can see this actually embodies the nice curve. They also had a nice curved glass panel up there as well. So it gives this bathroom not just the space, but there's a unique artistic touch to that. I don't know, this is a bit of an art deco feel that you can't find in, actually to be honest, even larger master bathrooms. Okay, they're more rectangular, but this really is quite interesting.
But it's not dated either,
yeah,
it feels
exactly.
really timeless.
Yes.
And then I'm Miss Sensible,
Yes.
the sensible one, right? And
Yes.
functional. So this is another favorite part of mine,
Yes.
which is the long counter, the long vanity counter.
Yes.
So there's currently a very long sink here,
Can always
and
put
you
another
could
one.
put just another one right by it.
Yeah, exactly. So the color chosen, again, neutral, though on the darker side, neutral colors throughout. Again, is I think for couples, young model ones, you take it. Otherwise, to me, it's also very functional, easy for maintenance as well. If not like, you can just change it. But what you can't really recreate in many houses is to have this curved facade. Again, I have to emphasize this again. Right, but the onsen, I think it's a quite good idea, Sam. So you can have that.
Onsen because I'm Sen.
Yes.
Sorry for the bad pun.
No. Everyone has a favorite part of the bathroom and what you do with it. So totally respect that, yes.
Oh yes, and the best part, guess how many square feet this is?
Yeah, this is more than 450 square feet, this whole area, right? So again,
450
square feet. Yeah. So you have the front because it stretches to the entire frontage, and you can see there's really the space. Yeah. We hope you are in front or physically with us now to actually feel the space with this elevator. And then the elevation from here, if you keep the doors open, you can see we're slightly higher. This ascending part, I get what Sen means. It feels a bit special to walk out of the room and say, of course, make sure you're bright awake.
Because when it's flat, when everything is flat, the space just feels a little less interesting. This has a little bit more intrigue about it.
Yeah, exactly. So now let's head back. We have finished, I think, the 3 bedrooms here.
Yes.
I hope you are as interested, curious, if not impressed, right, with what we have seen so far with this level 2. You have 2 ensuite bedrooms, 1 master here, this family hall, all right, and which forms part of the 5,800 square feet of space. So what do you think about this?
Wish I could be here. Wish I could be staying here.
So I'm sure now the viewers will be curious to know what level 3 entails. So with that, let's move on to Vico. Now, Biko, I know you're very excited to share with us level 3, right? So what is it about level 3 that you like?
So as you can see that the ceiling height of here is actually very high also. And one thing I like about the staircase is that the staircase landing is just the right size, right height. So you can see when you go up, you don't get so tired. And another details of the handle is that it's, instead of the round kind, it's actually like a squarish kind. So you have more grips, more friction. And one thing, you have glass panel over here, so you bring more natural lights to the stairwell because usually sometimes stairwells
Yeah.
get a bit like dull, dark.
That's right.
And-
Actually, Nico, you realize this is also very wide.
Yes.
This is about 3 meters,
So you see
more
with-
than 3 meters. There's a lot of space to walk up here. The glass panels help. And when you
Correct.
talk about the high ceiling, if you come up here, we have seen the high ceilings at level 1 and level 2, but this is actually even higher. This is about
Yes.
3.3 meters. And if the
Yes.
camera can span there, there's another part there that's actually 3.6 meters.
correct.
3.6 meters. Without us even giving you the dimensions, you can really feel how expansive and how open the space is. Not forgetting this also faces, later we'll show you, faces
Yeah.
the southern part, so you have the greenery view, etc. Yeah, but maybe let's take a look. How many bedrooms do you have here?
So over here we have 3 ensuite bedrooms with a family area. And one thing I like about this area is that you don't have so much of built-in, which means that you don't have to hack too much of things when you want to start your renovation work.
Later we'll
So,
see. And
yeah.
3 bedrooms, all bedrooms are actually very big.
Yes.
They're almost 300 square feet each. So that's
Which
about
is
what in
about
condo terms
two
two
condo master bedrooms. So
Yeah.
you have plenty of rooms to play with, your furnitures
Yeah.
and your renovation work.
Yeah. This floor, by the way, also important to know, this is the newly created floor. So this whole floor, the reason why we can have a higher ceiling, because it's totally redesigned. Remember the house used to be just 2 stories, right? So this was totally created. So it is the newest, right, part of the house, and it's evident, I think, exemplified further by the fact that actually this floor now is also the reason why the owners want to sell.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with this floor, it's just that it's underutilized.
Yes,
In fact, all
definitely.
3 rooms are not even used as bedrooms. So the house is too big for them, I think, but if you have a big family, you will find this third floor very, very useful.
Correct,
Right?
very
Let's go
useful.
and take a
So
look
3
at
rooms
bedroom
for you. We'll
5.
start with bedroom 5. So over here, you can, as I mentioned, there's not much of the built-in. The only built-in that you have in this room is actually this wardrobe.
Yeah.
This built-in wardrobe, which is good quality, still very well maintained. Then you can see there are different little segments where you can put your luggage.
All adjustable
Yes,
shelves.
all
These are all good quality because let's not forget the owner did this himself, so it's not by a developer. So a lot of things are customized according to the owner. As the owner, so-called developer, so to speak, they always use better quality materials.
So it's a very spacious, roomy size where you can
Very
actually put
squarish.
like queen size bed, even king size bed, and there's still sufficient room for you to walk about. And one thing, if you don't like about this shelving over here, what you can do and convert is that you can mount a TV on this area. Then you have a TV console, and you have this room will be self-sufficed. And one good thing is that this area is actually this side is actually facing north,
Yeah.
so you don't get the direct west sun, but you get the good view of the Springleaf Natural Park.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the camera can pan out, you can see you really feel this very, very serene, very, very quiet. You don't see any tall buildings at all. All right, and then the nature park, you can see we are surrounded. Basically, the canopy of the trees just gives a very, very nice horizon. You know, basically in front of you, this area view is very, really beautiful. Right now, talking about height also, the houses behind there are also like 2.5 stories, all right, etc. But because you're on a higher ground, then the houses at the back, you can start to see that the houses here, the roof line starts to slope downwards a bit more. Right, so it gives us, that means that our views are never blocked. And from this angle, if you turn around that side, okay, you can see this is where the wind comes in. There's a lot of pockets of air. I think natural wind coming throughout. Maybe I can just open here. Huh?
Yeah, open
You
maybe.
you can feel the wind straight
Yes.
away. By the way, this is also tinted. This being facing north, you really get the
my
direct
hair.
north-south wind. Yeah, natural as natural.
Yes.
Speaking about wind, there's also the ceiling lights all done. The ceiling fan is done, of course, with the downlights as well.
Yeah.
So like because I think there's a lot of room
Yes.
for your own creativity. Actually, what I'll do is you can even put a bed here, right, with this at the back and facing there. Being a squarish room, like we say, almost 300 square feet, there's a lot of space for you
You
to
can
play with.
even create your own little pantry over here. You have your little mini fridge, so you
Yeah,
don't
right.
really have
Actually,
to
don't
put
even
the-
have to be a bedroom, right? So if you run a bedroom, this can be a
Yes.
gym, this can be a TV room, etc. Because as long as you have a bathroom, which we're going to show you later, it becomes very, very functional, right? I think Nicole, do you like the color of this bathroom?
Yeah.
Can take a
So
look?
you see, this bathroom actually comes with a pops of color, red color, so it brings you good mood when you shower. And one good thing is I like this white window. So when you have windows, you have ventilation. You benefit from the wind ventilation, and you have a natural drying process for your bathroom. So when you finish showering, right, you just open the the window, and you have a natural drying process for your bathroom.
Yes, that's right. So do you like this room? Right, that's the first room of
Yes.
the third floor. I think there's a bedroom 6
Yes,
just
bedroom
behind this. Again,
So-
we said we were quite amazed to have 7 plus 1 big rooms. People sometimes always think the rooms will be quite small. So before you come in, you can take a look at how big the room is. All right. Also squarish.
The
right?
difference between this is like I feel that it's slightly longer, so you
Yes.
also have rooms to play where you can put your bed over here, you can face over there.
Yeah.
That side is actually west facing. So west facing, right, you get a last glimmers of the sunset that nobody's have in this house.
Yeah.
And also when you open, as we mentioned, the window is actually tinted. So when you open, you have the natural lights to your rooms, ventilation, like the sterilizing of the room because of the west sun.
Yeah. Again, you can take a look at here. Again, this is the actual distance, right? Because these are being older houses. The houses here are bigger than usual. The setback, like this house, Sean has mentioned, is more than 2.5 meters, almost 3 meters further away. So the neighbors are also further away. The gap between the front, the back, and the front of the two backs of the house are also further away as well. So even though this is you are still within so-called landed zone, you're near to each other, but you don't feel the space as much compared to a lot of landed zones. And again, you step out here. I think this is quite smart. Just now, remember the house was lower. This is actually the same height. So on a practical way, I think it helps to block the west sun if it really comes in. Not that I think it has never ever been an issue. You can always install blinds like what the owner has done, and the tinted sheet. This window panels really helps. Okay.
So as you can see, we mentioned that there's not much built-in in this
easy.
floor. So easy for you to hack. You don't need any hacking. You can start your renovation work.
Yeah.
So the only built-in is actually this wardrobe, which is same as the other bedroom. So over here, same thing. You have different compartments that you can put your own personal things, your luggages, your full clothes, and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the flooring quite a lot for this house, right? This room will give you a much better idea because we don't have a lot of things here. You can see the condition of the flooring.
Yes.
Right, slightly more than 10 years when they redid the house by A&A. So very good condition, such that you can see that I'm wearing Deco is scared of sleeping.
Yes, so I
she's
took off my socks.
It's so well maintained that it's even slippery with wear socks inside. So there's no scratches whatsoever. Really one of the rare few houses where I can even advise that you actually don't need to grind or polish before you move in. If you want to, of course, right? But at least it saves you the hassle and the cost of replacing the flooring, which for a big surface, usable area, more than 5,000 plus, it can potentially be quite costly. So this helps to give the new owner, I think, a lot of savings.
Yes, definitely a lot of savings, and also with the ceiling fan installed, you can just pack your luggage and ready to move in.
Yes.
So moving on.
Any more red toilets?
Yeah, another bathroom. So
Yes.
This bathroom has a pot of color too. It's in red, and one good thing is it comes with 2 panels of huge
Again,
windows.
these panels are very invited. Why these are right? Before you can do that one also. So it becomes very open, big, and very bright inside. Let me just take a look at this. If the cameraman can come in, you really have to come in and see it's really very big, quite spacious. That means all the bathroom, I think when the owner redesigned and remodeled the place, one brief is that all the bathroom needs to be spacious, right? Because the family is growing, expanding, they don't know who's going to stay. It could be their children, it could be them one day, so they want to make sure that it is spacious enough to be elderly friendly, kids friendly, etc. Yeah, so I like the dash of red knob. You can just retile it, just change it to your heart's content.
Yes.
Okay, so we have one more room here.
Yes, definitely.
7th room, right?
Yes, 7 room, and I think it's a very cute little area.
You have a favorite floor? I think this is your favorite room.
Correct,
right?
favorite area because we actually have like the family. We have the family area just outside this bedroom.
Yes, yeah.
So follow us.
Step up.
It's a very nice little stairs over here.
Yes.
Not too high, not too low, just nice for your kneecap. And over here we are facing, maybe we take a look at my favorite part of the family area. What I like about family area is that you have a reason, right, to gather all your family area in this area, and not like everyone just hiding in the room.
Yes.
And one good thing is facing south, and you have a little pocket of the nature
This
over
is a
there.
permanent air pocket. You can feel we're already facing southwards. We're already on high ground, so it really helps. Of course, you have the greenery in front. So this air pocket between the neighbors there, you always guarantees you basically 24/7 wind coming through, right? It helps that this is also sheltered on a hot day like this. You don't get the direct sun coming in because north side, the west sun actually comes up that side, right? So here you have a very nice bird's eye view of the entire estate. The camera can come here. Can you see this is the view that you get? Imagine every day you wake up, right? You just stand here drinking your coffee, etc. You can see the whole row. And what is unique here compared to many landed estates, they're very homogeneous. right? 2 stories, to have a pair, and this is a very long one straight road down. Just now we were at the park. So very pleasant, really very neat, very pleasant, and it makes the entire estate moving around within this estate, and even driving, or even just now visually just looking at it, you're appreciating it. It's a very, very nice, pleasant feeling, right? In a sense. So here, there's also this very high
very cute
windows.
little
I think they
window.
raised the ceiling.
So you know
on that
really
part.
what the owner likes to do, and is that when, you know, after a long day of work,
Yeah.
you just sit here and admire the views over
Yes,
there.
yeah,
How nice
exactly.
is it?
Yeah, it's true, it's true. This could be a TV room. There are many uses for that. A gym room,
correct.
gathering area. So you
Yoga.
notice, exactly. I think homogeneity, balance is something that the owner is trying to establish. You realize as they design it, every floor has a family room. So I
Yes.
think even for the 3rd floor, which sometimes people overlook, it just becomes a big area. But
Correct.
here, even the 3 rooms, it was designed with the mind that, I think the occupants here can just
Yes,
walk out.
correct. They can just
have their
walk
own
and
space.
gather at this area, chit chat after a long day of work.
Actually, this whole, later of course we'll show you the final room, right? The whole floor with 3 bedrooms can be like an apartment by
Yes,
itself.
correct.
Yeah, it can really be an apartment by itself. You can have your little 2 rooms for sleeping, 1 for entertainment, study, a little kitchenette, etc.
correct.
Then you may not need to go down at all. Now, let's go
Let
to
me show
your
you
final
this
room. Why do you like this
room.
room so much?
Okay, so for this room, right, you see, do you realize that there's a little curved wall over there?
Yeah.
It's a very unique little feature of this room.
This entire house actually, right?
Yeah.
So downstairs just now we saw the curved part which is in the master bath. So over here, this is actually the only room that actually gets this curved
Yes,
wall
correct.
treatment.
Yeah.
Curved wall treatment.
So-
Very unique.
So over here, what the owner did is that they actually do it as an entertainment,
room.
like a study, like a library area.
Yes.
So what you can actually do if you don't want it as a study or library area, you can convert it into like an entertainment room or a karaoke room
Yes.
or even movie
Yeah.
nights.
As
so-
a gym as well if you want, or the kitchenette that you mentioned, people can do some light dining because it's just near
Yes.
the balcony.
Yeah.
One thing about this room, you realize the ceiling is very high also, right? You can just turn around and look at the wardrobe, which like the other 2 rooms, okay, so full-length wardrobe is already done, and I think I like the fact that it's really tucked in one corner. Okay, tucked in one corner, it doesn't protrude out. Again, this was designed with very meticulously, so to speak. So you have the same storage space. If not, you can always convert this to shelves, right? Shelves or whatever storage space I think that you need. But the high ceiling I was mentioning makes this curved room, right? This very squarish. A lot more usable. It's very interesting, and it's of course becomes very functional. While it's now entertainment room, it can easily be a bedroom. There are 3 walls where you can actually put the bed against, and you have the same nice view. Again, cameraman later you come. Just now the view that I show you, right, is actually even more evident from this part. Okay, you can come just
over
from
here.
where Vico is standing. You see the whole stretch. Yeah, really, really beautiful. Like I said, it's one of the estates that has this very, very unique charm, so to speak. Okay.
So you realize with the big windows over here, we have a little cute window over here, which
Yeah, that's true.
also you can open and see the balcony. So in case you have guests or that, you can actually open here, interact while you have the aircon over here.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and of course this this bedroom, like the other bedrooms, all comes with a bathroom. Let's take a look again. The
So
size is big.
bathroom definitely with a pop of color. So guess
colour
what
is
color
that?
is this time? It's a yellow color and also huge enough for you to have all your little
Yeah, put your storage, and it's actually big enough for even if you have to convert to put like a bathtub. You want to do your what do you call this, like onsen bath or something, a mini jacuzzi. You have sufficient space. You can see this. Even if you want to do a double sink, okay, in case your family size requires all rooms to be occupied by couples. Let's say, in a sense. So this one you can even expand this to become a double sink because of the space, right? Because of the space. Let's get it. It's the same high ceiling, same windows that come from this side as well. So you can see this entire house, the 9 bathrooms, 7 bedrooms are really, really very well thought of in terms of the shape, the size, the height as well. So much so that I think it beats a lot of other even brand new houses, okay, that we have seen. Not to mention, of course, the resale ones. So now we come back to basically this area, the family hall. One thing, remember this space, right? So what is one way to enhance this house further? Okay, some of you may have
Yeah,
asked.
it's a $1 million question that buyers always have for us is that because this is a 3-story semi-D,
Yes.
you know, sometimes you have to future-proof. Is
Yeah.
there any way to add a lift?
Yes, all right. So very good question and concern. Although just now the climb up, if you notice there were deliberate breaks, right? Small breaks like this to make the climb very comfortable. And for a lot of 3-story houses, you can actually house the younger generation upstairs. It should not be. But should you, like what Vico said, want to future-proof it, you're planning for future retirement, this is your final home. Now, this is really literally one of the biggest stairwell, right, that you can have in a house. We saw the width just now with the length is easily converted. This space, the provision is more than sufficient for you. So if you take a look now at the proposal, all right, now this proposal is actually done by a professional architect who has studied the house and make a on-site customized solutions, all right, for this solution. Okay, so if you're going to build this lift will just take out. It does not. It will just go all the way up to level 3, right? It could be a glass lift, mechanical lift, etc. It's up to you. The cost is estimated, including, of course, the reorientation and redesign of the staircase is about $200,000 to $250,000. Okay, for basically an investment of the long run. A lot of our clients who stay in houses with lifts 10, 20 years. This and of course the enhancement of the value and usability of the space, I think that's very worth it. So you can see where this comes out. Because one thing about this is the cost is minimized because you don't need to touch any of the rooms. All right, when you do that, you touch not only you sacrifice the space, but you also incur more cost to reinstate the part that was actually affected. So this stairwell, therefore, I think gives a very cost-efficient solution.
Yes.
Should you want to do this, because this house, viewers have seen, you can just move in with minimal renovation. All right. Then after that, who knows? 10 years later, you want to refresh the room. That is probably when you can decide whether to undergo this extensive or this enhancement. When that happens, I think because you have more buyers coming here already, right? More people
You feel the wind
coming through.
So well ventilated, love it.
Sufficient rooms. You can break down some of the rooms, by the way. If you feel that the rooms are too many, you can break it down, make the rooms even bigger, etc. Because they are side by side. All right. So with this, we've almost come to the end of this house tour. So maybe we wait for Sean and Sam to join us. All right. Let's have a recap of this floor, and then let's round this up. We've now come to the end of the house tour, and we hope that you viewers out there can actually now better understand why we coined this 3-story semi-D Springleaf Solitaire.
Yes, a gem of a location, ensconced in nature, surrounded by green, yet within a few minutes walk to the MRT, shops and many other amenities.
Let's not forget, this house itself has space, design, functionality, all thoughtfully provided, especially good for larger families seeking a more comfortable home.
Yes, and indeed, now this house is now officially on sale with a price tag at $6.8 million, right? This will actually price it very attractively, especially to semi-D homeowners who are looking to either upgrade as compared to other houses in the area where it's only 2 stories. The cost and also the time needed to do an extensive A&A like this unit.
That's right. So if you or your family are keen to actually take a look at this house in person, you want to arrange an exclusive house tour, or have just any questions to ask about this house, feel free to contact me or any of my teammates here, and we're more than happy to actually assist you. Before we sign off, I just want to take the opportunity to also remind all of you, especially if you have been following our quarterly landed market seminar, that our next landed market seminar will be on 2024 Q1 results will be held next week, or on the 11th of April, Thursday at 8 p.m. So don't miss this if you want to have a much better understanding of the landed market. Okay, once again, my name is Willie.
I am Vico.
I'm Sen.
I'm Sean.
See you at the next episode of Huttons Landed Division's
Live Open House.